We are here today with Glenn Woods, who teaches pottery at Dunedin Fine Arts Center. And Glenn has brought in some of his work to show us. So could you tell us about these pieces?
Yeah, I tried to bring in some pieces that kind of show you a little bit of what we usually cover in my class. Because we deal with crystalline glazes, I brought some bottle forms, which are pretty traditional. This one is a gloss crystalline. This one is a matte crystalline, but you can see the tall skinny neck. That's kind of a popular form for crystalline. I also brought a lidded form because we also work with lidded forms, either creating teapots or lidded jars. But the focus is trying to make a lid that fits, so that fits there. And then I also brought an example of a plate, just to show you that crystalline glazes can work on a flat surface as well as a vertical form.
Great, thank you so much. So you are a working artist. You exhibit your work and you sell your work around the country. When did you decide to become a professional artist?
Okay, so it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I've always been in clay since high school. 1974 was my first piece that I remember dating. And then I focused on clay in college, and right out of college, I worked for the American Art Clay Company is what it's called. And I was there for probably about 2 years, and then I kind of got cold feet as far as being a full-time artist. So I got a job at a newspaper, and I was there for 13 years. And after 13 years, I was the art director. And then from there, I went to radio for a very short time, and then from radio to television, because it seemed like advertising sales was where the money was. And I found out that I wasn't cut out for that. So after a kind of a challenging performance review, I went home, opened up Ceramics Monthly, which is a ceramics periodical that we get, and found in the back of that a ceramic business that was for sale. And I bought that and became a full-time artist and moved to Florida, and that's how Dunedin Fine Arts Center.
Wow. And how long have you been teaching at DFAC?
Okay, so the part that I left out was that was in 2001 that we moved to Florida, and I started teaching here in 2002.
So you've been here a while.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to become a teacher?
Well, I've always loved teaching. I think this is kind of probably too much information, but third, fourth, and fifth grade, I was in special education, and they didn't really know how to teach me, basically. And so I was put in a corner with a bunch of other people that they didn't know how to teach. And there was no expectation of learning. So once I kind of worked my way out of that, I really felt strongly that I wanted to be a teacher, somebody who would help those people who have difficulties learning.
That's great. So for your pottery classes, they are intermediate classes, so students should probably have some experience throwing on the wheel. But what type of techniques are you teaching?
I really base my curriculum it's a 6-week session. And our first night we meet and talk about what our individual goals are. And then I already have plans for each evening, but I will weave those things into each evening based on what people are hoping to learn in that next 6 weeks.
Okay. And can you tell us what exactly is crystalline glaze?
Yeah, crystalline glazes are kind of a specialty glaze. Let me take the lid off here so I don't break it. This one shows the crystal pretty well. These shapes and textures that you see are crystals that grow in the glaze during the cooling cycle. So we first fire the piece to melt the glaze, and in this case, it's 2,350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then as it's cooling between 2,000 and 1,800, these crystals will start to form, and you can see there's small little pieces out here. So they'll start off as little tiny crystals, and we spend about 8 hours of cooling time to enable that crystal to get larger. You can see there are different colored rings, and each ring is an indication of a temperature change, because as it's forming, as it's growing, we will change the temperature to kind of design that crystal. So that's what it is. It's a little more involved in terms of how you apply the glaze and how you prepare the piece for firing. Because of that, we spend actually 2 evenings dedicated to glazing. So a 6-week session turns into a 4-week session.
Well, it's a beautiful result.
Thank you.
So, a lot of our students say that they come to the Art Center for the community. Have you noticed benefits of that social interaction in your class?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're all here to learn, but the larger thing is everybody's looking for a connection. And we definitely find it. The first evening I mentioned, we talk about what it is that they want to learn, but also, if there are any new people in the class, we go around, we introduce ourselves. How long have we been working in clay? What kind of career did we have? If we are currently working, what kind of work do we do? And that creates this little mini community in our little class. And you would be surprised how many people actually will come up with somebody and say, "Hey, you're a dentist. I need some work done," or "You're an ophthalmologist. I need some, my eyes checked." So we really have this little community, tight knit community. It just it really is nice. Sometimes I think uh, I'm at this social banquet, and I'm kind of secondary to the class because everybody's having such a great time. But that's nice if we can have a good time and also learn something.
Yes, that's great. So, what would you say to someone who is hesitant to come to the Art Center and take a class?
Well, coming to the Art Center, there's something for everyone. So I would say do not hesitate. Come right away, and you'll find something that you may have a passion for, or you may develop a passion for it. For my class specifically, because I only take intermediate and advanced students, there are some people who are kind of self-regulating and thinking, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or advanced enough for this class. In my class, I am the instructor, but we all kind of help each other out when we see somebody who's struggling. If you're feeling like you're not quite there, I would encourage you to try it anyway. And if you find that your skill level isn't quite suited for my class, there are so many other great instructors at the Art Center, and we can definitely hook you up and find another instructor that you might be more comfortable with. But I would say just give it a shot.
All right. So, thank you so much for coming in today. And if anyone is interested in seeing Glenn's classes, we have a link below this video. You can see the classes he teaches and sign up. So, again, thank you.